Classroom accommodations for students with albinism.
I really feel that public schools today are well equipped to handle students with albinism in the regular classroom. The legislation that's in place, the IDEA, that provides for free and appropriate public education, really mandates that schools do offer specialized services as needed for students with albinism or any with vision impairments.
A young woman with albinism sits at a desk and reads a non-modified worksheet. In order to see the print on the worksheet, the young woman must hold her head very close to the desk.
In general, it's the vision, and for the most part, a student can go into a regular classroom and do well with some minor adaptations and just some environmental changes and be able to keep up with the other students, with little difficulty. Some of the things that should be looked at, first of all, is the print size of reading materials. As the child is in the early grades, up even till 3rd grade, the print size is usually pretty decent for the child to see. So there isn't too much trouble that way. Teachers are going to find that the student is going to want to get things up closer to see them, and that's okay. There are often accommodations even by putting things on a reading stand or bringing things up closer for them to make it easier and avoid neck strain. And then it comes into play, probably the biggest issue is distance viewing. So if things are being projected on a screen, movies or overheads or PowerPoint things, that could be difficult to see, as well as writing on a chalkboard. Whiteboards are very difficult. Sometimes the glare on whiteboards can be problematic too.
A toddler with albinism sits on the floor with an open audiobook in her lap. The book has brightly colored buttons which, when pushed, make various sounds or narrate some of the text.
Some students might benefit from using recorded materials, recorded books. Also, when it comes into learning handwriting or writing things, using sometimes dark line paper, using a marker instead of a pencil. These are just some accommodations that can be really worked out, with the teacher visually impaired too. They can work with the student to see what works best for them.
A pad of paper with thick, widely spaced dark lines is shown along with dark markers.
I think one of the best resources for a regular classroom teacher is going to be a teacher of visually impaired. Depending on the needs of the student will depend on how much that teacher is going to have to be involved, but certainly to use a teacher visually impaired as a consultant to work with the teacher. The teacher can use this person to look at materials for them to help make a determination, if any changes need to be made. The teacher visually impaired also can provide materials, that are more accessible for the student. And then even at younger ages, the teacher visually impaired can work with the child on helping to develop some good scanning and tracking skills, also to work on their listening skills to help them improve that. And sometimes even working on handwriting, that can be a little challenging, but certainly a teacher visually impaired should be a part, of the whole classroom experience, to whatever degree is needed by that child.
Fade to black.